You want to have a sense of choice in your life. Stress and choice tend to be opposites. I want you to choose what you want in life, and you do it with your shoulders back and your head up. So you think, how do I want to treat me today? I want you to get away from this sense of lack of choice. So first off, with the self-criticism, I want you to praise yourself and compliment and encourage yourself. I want you to behave strongly, shoulders back, and walk with a briskness in your step. I want you to hold out your hand and give a firm handshake, look directly in the eyes, shoulders back, head up, and know that you're wonderful. Not just think it, I want you to know it. The second thing that destroys confidence is this sense of demandingness. When we start demanding, I have to do this, I got to do that, I must, I should, I ought to. Have you ever noticed that we do that a lot? When we were small, what we were taught to do, we were taught to think in terms of what you have to do, got to do, ought to do, must do, should do. And again, you're listening to your parents. Because that's crazy. There's nothing you got to do, have to do, should do. That's not true. Don't listen to that. It's really, what do you want to do? Because as soon as you think, I've got to, you strip away choice. And this world is about choice. This is your life. Do with it what you want. You know, I talk to people all the time who are under a greatly misguided conception that we have to pay taxes in this culture. And I'll have you bet there's at least 4 or 5 of you who really believe you have to pay taxes. But I know that's not true. Again, you're listening to your parents. They probably told you, you got to pay taxes, you know. 2 inevitable things in life, death and taxes. No, taxes aren't inevitable. You don't have to pay them. You can choose to go to jail. Right? It's a choice, it's an option. Pay taxes, go to jail. Pay taxes, go to jail. You know, I mean, hey, people, do the math, right? You choose. It's up to you. But it's a choice. And we forget about it. We think, well, I got to. When I talk like this, almost someone is thinking, come on, Dan, aren't you just playing with semantics? And I say, well, yes and no. Yes, it's semantics, but it's not just semantics. If I turn to my lady and I say, hey, hon, would you mind getting me a cup of coffee? Very different response than if I say, hey, you old bag, would you mind getting me a cup of coffee? Second time, I get the coffee poured on top of me. See, semantics have power. They have emphasis in our lives. And we want to get away from the sense of just thinking it's semantics. We want to understand that semantics have a lot of power in our lives. So I want you to think in terms of what you want, what you desire, as opposed to what should I do. Because it's just a series of choices. You don't want to pay your taxes? Don't. Go to jail. Skip the country. Move up north where they can't find you. It's a series of options. But we start thinking in terms of, no, I have to, I got to, I must, I should. And that's not true. Because you know what happens? Is we tend to do this all over the place. What we do is we think, well, you know, I should do this, I should do that. I should at work, I should at home. I should in the bedroom, I should in the kitchen, I should inside, I should outside. I just should all over the place. And I want you to stop shoulding. It's not good for you. I dare you, I challenge you, get rid of the should. Eliminate it from your vocabulary. It's really hard. Because what are you going to say? Well, I got to go now. Well, I don't have to go. Well, I really should go. No, it's not that I should go. It's, well, there's a little 4-letter word that's wonderful, and it's want. It's just want. What do you want? If I turn to you and I say, you know, I'm having a party this Saturday night. You really should come. It's not that you're going to run out of here and say, Dan shouldn't me, he shouldn't me. But if I ask it this way and I say, you know, I'm having a party Saturday night. It'd be really nice if you could make it. You notice how it sounds so much warmer? It doesn't sound like there's a hint of an obligation, which is what the should does. And we tend to resist that which we think we should do. Anyone ever procrastinate here? No, I know, never, right? Nobody ever procrastinates, right? Well, anytime you go to procrastinate, just think of what you're doing. What you're thinking inside your head is you think, you know, I really should write Aunt Doris. I really should get to my taxes. I really should pick up some milk. I really should, and then we resist doing it. A much better question is, well, what do you want to do? Have you ever been stuck between two decisions? Should I take this job or should I take that job? You're asking yourself a faulty question. It's like asking yourself, what color is the number 3? And I had a client that didn't miss a beat one time. He says, red. But there is no color associated with the number 3. And when you ask yourself, should I do this or should I do that? No wonder you're stuck, because there's no answer to the question. The question is, do I want this or do I want that? What are the consequences of this and do I want it? What are the consequences of that and do I want it? Behind every should is a want. And the should is the second destroyer of confidence. The solution to this is actually really quite simple. One, start thinking in terms of wants. Speak in terms of wants. I challenge everyone here tonight, don't use a should for the rest of the week. Oh, okay, that's probably impossible. Don't use a should for the rest of the evening. How about the next 10 minutes? And all of a sudden, you're going to find it very difficult. Think in terms of what you want, like, hope, wish. When you leave here tonight, ask yourself, well, what is it I want? Ask yourself, what is it I want? Because when you leave here, absolutely, you could get in the car, drive straight to the airport, go ching-ching with your credit card, and say, I'm going to Australia. I always wanted to go there. And when you're on board the flight, you could call your spouse and say, hey, hon, I've decided to move to Australia. Sell everything, give the kids a hug, you know, send me a check for half. As if that's going to happen. Well, you could do that, but most of us feel so restricted emotionally. We would be in such distress that we actually emotionally could not choose that choice. Now, some people don't want to, and I think most of you probably don't, or you would be there already. But it's about a sense of freedom, so the very first thing you do, if you want to build up this sense of confidence, is to try to get rid of the shoulds out of your vocabulary and out of your thinking. The second thing you do in solution form, to get rid of the shoulds, is to act differently, to do things differently. You want to do things differently from the way you've normally done them. No growth occurs. If you always do things the same way you've always done them, no growth occurs. It's important to do things differently, whatever that's going to be. If it's good, it turns out good, great. If you do it differently and it messes up, you have a learning experience, and you grow from that as well. Nietzsche said, that which doesn't kill me strengthens me, and it's true. So take a different route to work. Make love differently, read a different book, watch a different movie. Try a different vacation. Anything that's different gets you out of the shoulds and gets you learning and developing and growing. When you go to another country, don't demand that they do it your way. Enjoy their culture. And if it feels a little odd, good. Get used to doing things that feel a little different. It stretches you. The road to confidence can have many steps. In a few moments, we'll come back, and I'm going to show you the steps to developing greater confidence.